Is it me? Or does it seem as though Jonathan has multiple faces? One for everybody. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 9, episode 9. And yeah, I said it and you heard me correctly. Jonathan seems to have multiple faces on his head. I don't know. I ain't feeling Jonathan. I've counted literally about 4 or 5 different faces this season. And this ain't coming across as a good look for Jonathan. But we're going to talk about it. I don't know what's up. I've known some two-faced folks in my life. But, yeah, Jonathan, I don't know, child. You got a lot of sides to your head, honey. But anyway, like an octagon. Anyway, let's move on here. Okay, so first things first. Jonathan, Mariah, and Sydney meet up. Now, I've told y'all before that I've already been kind of questioning the friendship between Jonathan and Sydney. And I don't personally feel like Jonathan values Sydney as a friend. I think she's more of I would even call her a sidekick. She's the underdog and she doesn't know it. You're the joke of whatever crew we're in. No matter who we're with, you're the joke. You know what I mean? And she ain't got enough sense to see it. And I learned a lot of things about Sydney in this episode as well. And we're going to get to that. Because, as we've been progressing through this season, I told you I was Team Sydney. I wanted to see her do well. Scratch that. I'm not Team Sydney. I can't. Sydney don't have all the qualities I need for her to have for me to be Team Sydney. And that's all that's to it. So we're going to roll. We'll roll into it. But anyway, the three of them sit down. Sydney is actually explaining to Jonathan how him and Nia actually got into it. And why her feelings were what they were. And of course, the blame has basically been placed on Sydney. And I'm saying, Sydney be wrong a lot of times for things, but she not wrong all the time. She not wrong about everything. And I'm getting this thing with Nia where I feel like Nia's doing too much. I've kind of felt that way all along. I've always felt like Nia was doing too much. And I've been kind of quiet because nobody was actually agreeing with me when it came to Sydney. And I said, sometimes I'll sit back and check myself. And I said, are you being a little too lenient because you want her to win? Or are you being too protective of her? And I had to sit back for a couple weeks and just kind of check myself and just really pay attention to what's going on. No, I ain't down for Nia. I ain't down for Nia at all. Nia is a bully. Nia is on some bullshit. And again, when it comes to Sydney, I feel like Nia feels like it's this. That she's completely beneath her. So no, I ain't Team Nia either. She was saying that, she felt as though Nia was attacking her womanhood. When she came for the way she dresses and all of that. Now, I ain't agreeing with that. I don't feel like she ever, nothing was transphobic, nothing was done to make you feel less of a woman. None of that, Sydney. Now, some of the things that Nia has a way I don't like how she handles Sydney, but what she's had to say has not been incorrect. Your rapping is not up to par. The way you act is not up to par. And the way you dress is not up to par. You do dress like a whore. You do act like a fool. And sometimes it's not, it's not. Sometimes you act like a sissy. And I can't stand it. But Naya's never even approached you with that. That's me. I'm the one that said that. So if you ever see the videos and you want to come for that, then you can come for me for that, because I'm the one that said that. I'm the one that said you're a trans woman that acts like a sissy. And I don't like it. I said that. Naya's never conveyed that at all. Nothing like that. She totally cool with who you are and who you want to be. She's totally cool. So I'm going to give her all her props on that. She was definitely rallying for you being a transgender woman and told you, that's the one thing that Naya said that I truly believe that from her core. She's like, baby, you be whoever you want to be. Whoever you feel like you are, then that's who you are. If you say you're a woman, then bitch, you're a woman. Now, I truly believe that that was sincere from Naya. I truly thought that was sincere. I don't think it was sincere that she... What? I think she got a kick out of you really fawning over her and wanting to be her friend. But did she really ever want to be your friend? No, not really. Not really. She didn't take you seriously. From the first meeting, she didn't take you seriously. And I still say, in the very first meeting, on the very first episode, I felt like Naya came on strong to Sydney. And as we've seen this progress, we see that Sydney's just, boom, I'm here, I'm in the room. Sydney story, that's her. That's her. And it wasn't anything directed toward Naya. Naya, right away, y'all go back. I'm telling you, you can go back to the first episode and rewatch it. Naya's the one that gave, like, who's this bitch? And that's how I felt all along. I've watched other reviews. Nobody seemed to agree with me. Everybody felt like Sydney came for Naya. I don't give a fuck. I felt as though it was the other way around. But anyway, okay, so moving on. So that was that. Jonathan said, okay, well, I'm going to try to get it fixed. I'm going to try to get... She said, I don't know how Naya's going to react, but I'll try to see if we can get some resolve, because Sydney was like, I want to be her friend, this, that, thing, the other. So I was like, okay, cool. Moving on. Now let's go. Jules and Kimbella. You two, nasty tramps. You two are completely out of order. You have no respect. None. No respect. I understand that y'all spent time in separate houses and all that there. But to sit in that living room and do all that you were doing in front of Joel's mother? Not at all. Not at all. You sitting around like that, you don't have no reason to be in no type of judgment of anybody. I wouldn't even care. And they're not married, but I wouldn't give a fuck if y'all were married. To be as sexual as you all were in front of anyone, the children, his mother, company, it could have been Sin and Joe. It was just out of order. It was too much. I was uncomfortable. I was truly uncomfortable. I mean, just all in each other's mouth. And it wasn't like, a peck, a kiss, cool. No, y'all are literally like dry humping. He done already let you know he don't know how to turn the car off. I says he basically letting you know his dick done got hard and he, it is what it, I'm like, this is uncomfortable. It was really over the top. I was like, too much. And the mother went on and walked on out the room. I said, you should have been walked out the room. Because I can't even imagine. My mother would have shut that. My mother would have shut that shit down. My mother would be like, bitch, what you giving? If you don't get the fuck off his lap, and if you don't get him the fuck off your lap, like I ain't standing the fuck here. Yeah, my mother would have went all the way off. It was disrespectful. I thought it was very disrespectful. I was like, are you literally sitting there sucking his tongue? Sucking his tongue and riding his lap? I said, this is too much. That was trifling. Anyway, I'm moving on. Rich Dollars and Miracle. Rich goes ahead, he gets down there for the court hearing. And we talked about Miracle. Not only do Miracle got all these other issues going on, Miracle is just literally delusional. She done got down there, Rich gets there, he finds out she don't actually have a lawyer. She actually has a public defender, which is a lawyer as well, but not a reputable lawyer, not a seasoned lawyer, like an intern, basically. She is a public defender. And he's like, well, why didn't you tell me? You know, she's like, well, you paid $100,000 for me to get bail, and I just didn't want to ask you for any more money. And he's like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, this girl is delusional. She really has it in her mind that she leaning too much on her Bible, for real. You leaning too much on your teachings, and you got so much faith to the point where it's becoming a detriment to you. Later on in the episode, they actually show them going to court and gets there, found out the public defender and dropped the ball, baby. There ain't no goddamn, there is no plea deal. The state, they want to throw jail time at her, period. And they get the copy of all the paperwork. They kind of stretch things out, so I think they kind of postponed to give her some more time to get things together. They go out in the hallway, and you literally can see right on camera now. Mona, you caught this. You got a good reality moment. When the reality of what was really going on set in for Miracle, and you seen her wheels literally begin to turn like cogs. I said, girl, you are really delusional. And when it really sank in, baby, that child got to weeping and crying, and I said, Rich, go on and get her. Rich was like, come on, not on camera, come on. And I said, child, it was hard to even feel sorry for her because of how delusional she's been to this point. Honey, they was taking her out and I was giving, don't cry for me, Argentina. You're going to jail, honey, with this bullshit that you've done. You're going to jail. The way that this is going, I don't know what rabbit that Rich is going to pull out of the hat, but you have let this shit get so out of whack till I don't even know what's going to happen. And it just, the little girl, the granddaughter, Ashley, she understood more. You know, she just found out, a week or two ago, what was really going on. She had a better understanding than her mama. All the way up to the court date. Mama just as clueless. I said, y'all, somebody ought to take a Bible and hit her upside her goddamn head. Just as goofy. I said, Lord have mercy, going to jail. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so Alexis Sky. Alexis undoubtedly went to some dinner. She went to some dinner with her label mates. And there's some beef they had with some people. And when you knew anything, baby, some shooting broke out. So she was like literally in the crossfire in the midst of a shootout, a beef at a shootout. And that we showed the aftermath of her actually getting there to her grandmother's. And she was still visibly shaken up. And, you know, her grandmother was like, you know, she's like, yeah, you called me a million times, you know, this, that, thing, and the other. She's like, her grandmother was like, you're nervous right now? You know, because she's holding the baby, and then she asked her grandmother to hold the baby. She said, are you still nervous or whatever? And her grandmother just looked at her, you know, and I said, you know, I ain't crazy about Alexis, but I like Alexis's grandmother. Honey, Alexis's grandmother basically gave her very quick, listen, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you done got yourself tied up into, but you need to make better choices. You need to get your shit together. That's my paraphrase for the conversation that her grandmother was saying. Her grandmother is not for the bullshit. And she basically let her and told her, you got this baby. You got to live for this baby. So shootouts at dinners and shit, bitch, no, that's not working. That's not working. I don't know what the fuck you got going on, but it ain't, no. And you're not going to worry me to death in the midst of all the bullshit. Get your shit together. I was like, come on, Grandma. Come on through with the real shit. A mess. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about the whole crux of this episode, why it's literally at this point is 4:37 in the morning. I was very late getting started with doing this review, and I planned on doing it in the morning, but it's 4:37 in the morning, and I watched the show, and I got so in an angst watching that I had to get up and do it now. I couldn't even wait. And this is the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, was this winery trip that Jonathan threw with all his girlfriends. It was such a mess. It was such a mess. Such a mess. Jonathan was in a car himself. And that car was Mariah and Naya. Okay? And then he sent another car that has Sin and Kimbella. And the last person to get picked up was Sydney. Okay? So they didn't even know. Nobody knew that Sydney was coming. Okay? Nobody knew Sydney was coming except for Mariah. Naya already was kind of on one a little bit, and she was like, you know, did you invite Sydney to this? Because I really ain't trying to be bothered with her. She keep on questioning my gangster. She keep on doing this, keep doing that, and I'm just really not trying to deal with her. You know, it was all of this. I was like, okay, girl, we understand. You still mad from last week, whatever. Sin and Kimbella, when they get and they pick up damn Sydney, they're clowning her, okay? They're clowning her. And I saw a nice little piece of shade from Sin. I said, oh, Sin Santana. Girl, you being shady like this? When you been a whole bluttering, crying, foolish mess this whole time, you got time to judge somebody? Oh, okay. Right. Get your postpartum together. And get your man to fuck you. Worry about that while you sitting around worry about what you heard about Sydney. And I heard she's crazy and this, that. Chill out. But anyway, here comes Sydney. Same old, ain't learned nothing. You always got to have this extra read all about it type of introduction. You come in, you can't just get in the car and say, hey girls, hi, my name is Sydney, this, that. No, you got to get all in, you within 2 seconds. And see, I don't understand what the big issue is. Where, you know, when I first started hearing about Sydney's story, it was always some mess about guys and them not knowing that you were transgender and all of this. But now, within 2 seconds, you tell everybody all your business about your trans experience, and don't nobody even give a fuck. People that don't even require you to tell them. You ain't got nothing. That's your whole conversation, because for some reason, you are in this position where you feel as though your trans experience makes you special. Like you're confused. Like you're not thinking of, it may make me a target for people to treat me different. No, you think it makes you special. But don't nobody on here think you special. Don't nobody on here care. They don't care. Nobody is throwing shade about you being trans at all. At all. The only person that I saw that was acting a little shady was Jaquay. Was a little strange to me. But other than that, every castmate that you've interacted with on here, nobody gives a shit about you being trans. But for some reason, you think it's a feather in your cap. Bitch, you're crazy. But you get in there, and they made it very clear. You're sitting there looking at Kimbella with a fur on. Jonathan got on a wool coat. Everybody's all dressed. You got on a summer dress and a little bolero jacket, titties all out, ass all hanging out, legs hanging out. I said, if you didn't look like you was on your way to the hoe stroll in the middle of July, I said, girl, you are an absolute clown. And it's getting worse. It's not even getting better. It's getting worse. 30 degrees. New York City is colder than shit. And you truly gave streetwalker tease. Streetwalker tease. I said, girl, this hoe stroll, get up, honey. And they were looking at you, and nobody even had to make a punchline. You were the punchline. You clowned yourself. But they were in the cars together. They're on their way. And again, she was right into that underdog where everybody's like, God, is she going with us? It was that kind of feel, but you put yourself in that position this time. Anyway, so they go on out there. First things first, they get out there. Sydney says, I'd like to talk to Naya. Naya was very shady. She didn't really want to talk to Sydney. But she did. And now dig this. Dig this. This is where I got pissed off with Sydney. And this is actually why where I said I ain't team Sydney, because you out of order, bitch. When in the confessional, Sydney, you went into this whole situation where you said, oh, well, you know what, you basically got around to I don't really give a fuck about Naya, for real, but I'll do what I need to do to get her friendship, because I need her friendship to keep everything copacetic with Rich and Jaquay and all of my business moves that I need to do. So all of this other shit is really fake. And that's what I clocked, and I said, oh, no, I don't like no fake bitches now. I don't like no fake bitches, Miss Sydney. I ain't for that. I don't like users. I don't like clout chasers, and I don't like users. So that's where I got off of the bus, the mega bus ticket that is Sydney Star. I got off at that point. Naya actually clocked the T. And she spoke it in her confessional. Sydney don't want to be friends with me. I don't believe none of that. She wants to use me for my connections and to smooth things. She done clocked your completely clocked your T. I said, okay, well, I can't be mad at her for that. I cannot be mad at her for that. Because, girl, she clocked you, and she clocked you 100% right. So that was what it was. She told her, listen, we'll do baby steps. It's cool. We'll just forget about what happened. Don't be bucking up at me no more, because I ain't really for it. And she said, well, can I give you a hug? She said, no, I don't want to do no hugging. She wasn't for none of the fake shit. And Sydney, she really, I just want to be your friend, and this, that, and the other. And I was looking at her, I was like, this is ridiculous. And then she started getting... It went to a thing where it started being kind of nasty. And I was like, okay, nah, I ain't for that, because that ain't necessary. Now, you said what you said. Y'all buried the hatchet, and that should be the end of it. This little snipes and all of that, I ain't with it. After that, Kimbella and Mariah started talking. And I was so done with Kimbella. I was like, Kimbella, are you really standing here talking to Mariah about Yandy like Yandy is some random bitch off of the street? Now, I understand you're upset with her. I understand you're upset. I understand that you ain't speaking and all of that. But are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're talking with a person that you know for a fact cannot stand Yandy. They have a bad past. And Mariah was, when I say giving it to Yandy and giving her all of the, girl, she's doing, I believe she's doing this foster care situation for Infinity, for show, and this, that, and the other. And baby, when I tell you, her and Kimbella were eating Yandy up. And I'm going to say this. Yandy, whatever happened with Kimbella and Yandy, and whatever Kimbella says, if it's true, what Kimbella says about Yandy, whatever friendship you all had, Yandy ought to turn around Kimbella and never fucking speak to you ever again in life. She should give you exactly what you're asking for, because right now you're really doing all of this for attention. You don't mean really half of this shit that you say. You are dragging it along. You are enjoying the fact that Yandy wants to repair what you all had, and you're making her pay is what you're doing. But if I was Yandy, baby, see, the reins would have been taken over. Once I would sit here and I would watch that shit with you and Mariah, oh, baby, you wouldn't have to worry about me, because I would never speak to your blonde head ass again, ever in this life. You don't deserve whatever little friendship that Yandy had for you. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe you were sitting there with Mariah doing that. I was just done. It would have been different if you were having that conversation with Jonathan. But Mariah? Really? I couldn't see it. Your sister. I don't want to be their sister of yours. That was a mess. That was a mess. And I was like, okay, Mariah. And Mariah's just being Mariah. Because you're in the presence of people who you know are close with her, and you just say, but that's Mariah. Mariah is very, now that's one thing I'll give her. The bitch, her heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. That bitch will fight, she will argue, and she really does say whatever it is that she feels like it's on her heart to say. And I gotta give the bitch her props for that. It is with her little self. Bitch got balls. Ain't no problem. I like that type of shit. And in this process, they were doing that. Then Nia had kept doing more of this like barking at Sydney. And at one point when she asked Sydney, do you want me to beat you? Because this was Sydney had said, you know, it wasn't, she was just explaining, you know, to the group. She said, I only like, because they were bringing Kimbella and them up to speed. She said, I only kind of like, you know, bucked up at you because I really wanted you to stop talking at that point. And I understood what she was saying. She was just saying, you know, you were embarrassing me in the midst of this room of people. You're talking about my clothing and things, and the things you were saying to me were hurting my feelings, but she didn't know how to actually voice it that way. And Nia just went all the way to the left when it was like, what do you mean you wanted me to shut up? And then that's when I started to see Jonathan's other face. Well, you can't, baby, you can't tell her that you wanted her to shut the fuck up. And yes, she can. I mean, what's so special about Nia? That's kind of how y'all talk to each other. And that's what I started to say, what is so special about Nia? And it became very evident that Jonathan had definitely sided with Nia, and it was Sydney ain't shit, and whatever Nia said was fine, and it's all Sydney's fault. Sydney brought it all on herself. And the one person who actually at that point, she did her confessional, she clocked it. Mariah had clocked that. She said, you know, this whole thing with the new Nia and the old Nia and all of this, and I understand the position with Sydney, and yeah, she's a little bit much to handle and all of that. Said, but at this point, what Nia's doing is being a flat out fucking bully. I said, thank goodness somebody actually clocked exactly what it was that was going on with Nia. She is bullying Sydney. And then this was the other thing that really, when I said I had already gotten off of the megabus and was standing on the curb, I turned away from the curb and walked away when I said, Sydney, you're a punk. Girl, how you gonna be a trans woman and be a punk? How's you even a little gay boy and as a punk like this? When that bitch asks you, do you want me to beat you up? Do you want me to whoop your ass? And you, well, no, I just want to be your friend. Girl, you and Nia, the way she was talking to you, it was all the way, it was too far out for you to still be kissing her ass. All I read was punk. I read punk, like you scared of her, bitch. And what is you scared of her for? I don't like no punk bitches. I can't do it. I like my trans women. You know, I don't want my trans women to be gruff like no dude, but I don't want them running from people either. I don't want them not able to hold their heads up and be like, okay, you know what I mean? I ain't for that shit. I want one of them sissies that you could run in the house, and I don't understand running in the house. What is that? Girl, let's get on out here and get to goddamn windmilling in the street. See, not all that with Naya. And at Sydney said there wasn't enough people out there to stop Naya from getting to her, and you totally played punk. I said, oh yeah, you literally just stood there and took that shit. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, you're a punk. No, I can't rock with you, mama. Sorry. I can't do it. You loud, you unnecessary, and you a punk. How you a punk down a girl? No, I can't do it. So after that, they ended up, you know, they sent Sydney away, and Sin went and, you know, said she gonna go check and see if she okay, get her calmed down. So everybody else still sitting at the table. Now at this point, Mariah and Kimbella start up and they're talking about Yandy again. So Jonathan stood up for Yandy. And Naya is standing up for Yandy. Now, Naya didn't get all about it with Kimbella, because we know Kimbella will fight. Kimbella's not going to let you talk to her real crazy. She's not going to do any of those things. And Kimbella was like, listen, I'm just saying, I said what I said about Yandy. It is what it is. Naya was trying to diffuse it. She was like, okay, well, this were you, because she's like, Jonathan was like, well, I'm not going to sit here and, you know, y'all are sisters and I'm not going to get in the middle of it, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, Yandy's the worst, this, that, and the other. And Kimbella was like, no, baby, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just being real. One of us got to be real, this, that, and the other. She said, I'm going to go ahead and get up and I'm going to go and see about Sydney and Sin. And at that point, it was like, all right, and Mariah was like, well, you know, it just is what it is. She's a fake bitch. She's a fake bitch, and it is what it is. It ain't, you know, ain't nobody trying to hurt nobody's feelings or nothing. But I just, if she's doing this stuff for the wrong reasons, I think it's horrible. I was a foster child, and I just think it's horrible if that's what she's doing. So Naya basically tried to shut Mariah up. Like what Mariah had to say. What she was trying to do exactly what she had done to Sydney Starr. You're not important. What you're saying is not important. Shut up. We're moving on to the next thing. And Jonathan was just sitting there and letting it happen. Now remember, each one of these girls are invited there. They all have separate friendships with Jonathan. And then Naya made a comment. And the comment clearly stated, basically, the only friendship that Jonathan has to worry about is the one between him and Yandy, and him and Naya. And the friendship with him and Mariah didn't mean shit. And the only problem was, Mariah caught it. Naya knew exactly what she was saying. Jonathan knew too, but Mariah caught it. And Mariah says, you know what, and on that, I'm going to get on up and I'm going to roll on out because I ain't ready to try to do all this. You know, I ain't going to do all that. And she went and she was walking away. And as she's walking away, Naya pulls the child by. Well, we already know Mariah don't play them games. Nope, she don't play them games. Mariah turned back around. She came back and Naya went right into this, oh, don't walk up on me, and don't, she's like, I'm not walking up on you, I'm just saying, I'm making my point, and I'm just saying it's not, this is not even, like, why is this even going there? Why are you talking to me like that? Why are we even going down this road? See, because Mariah had already, was up to here with Naya's bullshit, with the way she was treating Sydney, because Mariah actually does like Sydney. I said, come on through, Mariah. And she, and we already know from in the past, if Mariah's riding for you, she will take on some of your shit. That's what she's a little loyal to a fault sometimes. But she come back and she's like, I'm not trying to stand over you or nothing. I'm going to sit down so we could be sitting and you can see me. And she's talking to Naya. And Naya really tried to bully her and tried to punk her. And then tried to buck up at her. Did you all not see Nia try to do the exact same thing that Sydney did to her, but Sydney was more jovial. We knew Sydney didn't mean it when she did it, but Nia meant it. And baby, Mariah bit. Mariah bit and said, bitch, let's get it. And it was on and popping. And Jonathan's like, no, 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 no. And this, that, other. So they separate them out. And then I'm sitting there listening. Jonathan has completely taken Nia's side. And he completely said, again, here's another one where he says she's not even worth it. Why is she here? Why is she here, Jonathan? She's not even worth it? You say that to one of your friends about your other friend? She's not even worth it? I said, oh, wow, yeah, baby, you got an octagon on top of your head. You got a motherfucking face for everybody, Miss Jonathan. And somebody need to whoop your ass. So I done had about enough of you through 2 shows. You got a lot of shit with you, Jonathan. A whole lot. And today, I can't fuck with you no more either. I was like, oh, wow. I couldn't believe the shit he was saying about Mariah. And then when Nia took and threw a glass, she literally threw a glass at her, and you still went on like Nia was okay. I know Nia, she was provoked. So in Jonathan's, Mariah provoked her. Sydney provoked her. It was all their fault. She throwing glasses and shit, starting shit, because she started it. She was the aggressor in all of those situations, but Jonathan feels as though she was provoked in all those situations. I said, Jonathan, you're a fake bitch. You're a fake bitch. You're a fake, phony bitch, and you and Nia will fall out the same way that you and your girl have fallen out. You don't know how to be a friend, and I see why now you fall out with everybody, because you're a fake, phony bitch. And that's all I got to say about it. I was absolutely disgusted with this. And then Nia, girl, I'm done with you too. You're ridiculous. You're absolutely ridiculous. Then she tried to pull these fake tears and, oh, the old Nia, and then fuck the old Nia and fuck the new Nia. Bitch, you're just Nia, bitch. You just a loud, bullying bitch, and you try to pull it with whoever you can. And Mariah called your hoe car. Shit, Mariah wasn't giving a fuck about that shit. Mariah was like, you fucking old, retired ass stripper bitch. You think you tough because you got slashed, bitch? Yes, she does. Yes. She wears those battle wounds like war scars. Yes, she does. Like it's a badge of honor, but ain't nobody scared. Ain't nobody think about you. You ain't shit. Jonathan's a phony bitch. And y'all deserve each other because y'all gonna fall out, and we'll be right here watching. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I told you this part of it was just too much. It was too much. Anyway, I'm done with this episode. This is season 9, episode 9. I got something new going on here on this channel. If you have not heard about it on my channel, I have a new segment, Swipe Left. Pay attention to this little bit of stuff I got here at the end of the video. Don't turn off yet. All right, you guys. I'll see you soon. Later. Swipe left. Swipe left.